What's going on? Welcome to the 5-Minute Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Colton Olson, and on this podcast, we spend about 5 minutes, I say about 5, give or take a couple sometimes, breaking down and teaching you to apply psychological concepts that world-class athletes, CEOs, coaches, and elite military units use to take their performance to the next level. The key word here is apply. I don't want you to come here and just get a bunch of information and not know how to use it. I want you to leave here every day feeling like you have something in your hands that you can use right away to improve your life. Let's get to it. One of the things I've been thinking about a lot recently is how you go about becoming a tougher person. So growing up, and really up until about a year ago, I always felt like there were just some people who were naturally tougher than everybody else. It seemed like some people who they just had it in them to do harder things than other people. They could handle more uncomfortable situations than everybody else, and they could even deal with more pain than other people. And I never thought twice about it until someone about a year ago came to me and they wanted to talk about a player on their team who just wasn't a tough guy, and it was hurting him and hurting the team. And the coach asked me, "What can you do to make people tougher?" My first reaction was to tell him that toughness was mostly a decision. It's a mentality that you choose to embrace that allows you to endure more than other people. And while I do think that's a part of it, toughness is definitely at least part mentality. I've also come to learn that there are some real techniques and real practices that you can employ that build toughness in a really serious way. And we're going to dive into those today. So defining toughness can be hard. If you ask 10 people what it meant to be tough, you might end up getting 10 different answers. But generally, toughness is just the ability to endure strain or hardship and to be difficult to break down. When you think about tough people you know or tough people you've seen, they probably embody that definition. And when people are hard to break down, when they can endure this hardship, they end up becoming pretty successful because they just outlast people. They're willing and able to do the things that other people don't want to for longer than anybody else will, which means they end up being the last one standing, right? They win the war of attrition, which is a big deal. And these tough people that I'm describing are the ones we all want on our team. We want them on our side because not only do they help the team win, but they end up making the people around them tougher. Toughness is contagious. It's powerful, and it makes people better. So we know what it means to be tough. We know it's a powerful thing. It's a competitive separator. But how do we build it? How do we channel it? So first, it really is a mentality shift. You have to decide that you're going to become a tough person, that you're going to become someone who can endure hardships, and that you're not going to be broken easily. It isn't just enough to think about it, though. You can't just say, "Oh, okay, I think I'm a tough guy now." You have to make it real, and you have to start acting like a tough person. Acting like a tough person is really the magic in building all of this. And the reason it's the magic is because acting like a tough person literally changes our brain. And before I discuss the brain change, I just want to clarify what I mean by acting like a tough person. Acting like a tough person is just doing hard things. And that means doing things that you aren't good at, things that are physically or mentally challenging, and things that you don't want to do. When you start willingly engaging in activities you don't want to engage in, it strengthens the area of your brain that's responsible for willpower. And your brain works just like a muscle in this sense. When you use a certain part of it repeatedly, it gets bigger and stronger, which then makes you better at whatever skills that area of the brain is responsible for, like toughness in this case. So the most important thing you need to do if you want to become a tougher person is just to do hard things. Go out of your way, challenge yourself, and put yourself in uncomfortable situations. And it's going to be hard and frustrating at first, but you're going to get better at it pretty fast, and soon you'll be the toughest you've ever been. And the last key, once you start putting yourself into these tough situations, the last key to developing toughness is changing your self-talk so that it helps you navigate these new challenges you're going to take on. And you might think this means, all right, I need to be a drill sergeant with myself. I got to be super tough. I got to make sure I don't let myself get away with anything. I need to be crazy intense. It works for some people, but generally that's not it. You really want to talk to yourself in a combination of kind of a compassionate but confident tone. One great mantra I've stolen from Andrew Huberman, who's a neuroscientist at Stanford, is, "I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I know I can do hard things." That phrase is a toughness building phrase. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to get after it, and I'm going to handle this tough deal. That's toughness. You may not be perfect, but you're going to endure. So those are the basics of building toughness. And here are 3 tactics to help you use those basics and start increasing your toughness today. So Tactic 1, make the decision to be tough right now. It's only going to make you better at whatever it is you do, but you have to decide you're going to start the toughness journey. So make that mentality shift. It is part mentality. And then tactic 2, start doing the things that make you uncomfortable and talk to yourself the right way when you do it. Tell yourself, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I know I can do hard things. Or tell yourself, I can't be broken. One mantra I was taught by my dad at a young age, who actually stole this from guys who were walk-ons at Oklahoma State, walk-on football players, was you can't break me. Tell yourself you can't break me. I'm going to be tough. So start doing tough things and talk to yourself the right way. Tactic 3, make sure you have fun when you do hard things. This all sounds really intense, and it can be at times, but you have to have fun when you do this. Find some times to laugh or smile when you're doing some hard stuff. You have to enjoy the hardships. You have to suffer well. All right? So that's all we've got for today. If you enjoy the podcast, please subscribe, leave a review, and I'll see you back here next time on 5 Minute Mindset.